everybody, get yourself a minivan and get in that minivan and you live it, okay? It's a sustainable lifestyle, and I want you all in a minivan. Good morning or afternoon if you're watching in the afternoon. Look, coffee. Well, I wanted to show you how I make my coffee. Some of you like tea. Some of you like sugar in it, or you like it black. Well, I like cream in mine, but I'm going to make it so that you have exactly what you want, okay? Okay? There you go, here. So whatever you want is in here. There's yours. Mine? Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So good. I do like coffee. But I like tea also. So, okay. I drink a lot of tea throughout the day. Okay, today I want to talk about all kinds of stuff. This is like a coffee chat. If you're new to the channel, I do coffee chats every once in a while where we just have coffee and I talk about different stuff, but I do have a lot of questions I need to answer, okay? Well, I hope you're doing really, really well. Let me find my phone. Let's get to some questions. Okay. This is from Christine Lopez. She says, well, she calls me sweetie. Hi, sweetie. So interested in how you keep your fridge on electricity while living in your beautiful van. This is a beautiful van. I'm Minivan Lee, if you don't know, and I have lived in my minivan for 8 years now. I did it on purpose. 8 years ago, I found a minivan and I gave away pretty much everything that I owned and I moved into it. And one of the reasons, well, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them was that my eldest daughter had her husband had been transferred to Ohio, and which is where I'm from. I was born and raised in Ohio. So this way I could go back and forth, and see all of my children and grandchildren. But I had been researching this lifestyle for almost 8 years previous to moving in here. So yeah, I do like it. Well, obviously I love it and I think it's pretty darn cool. It's like my clubhouse. Welcome to my clubhouse. Welcome to my cave. When I was small, you remember how your parents would put like a blanket over a card table or a table, and then you can crawl inside and you have your little home in there. To me, this is what this is. I'm still pretty much a young person at heart, a little girl. Well, I'm not a little girl, but I still have those, desires to do all the little magical things that we did when we were small. Maybe I never really grew up in certain ways. I still have a great imagination. I just wrote 2 thrillers, van life thrillers, recently, over the past 3 months. So, and that's on Amazon. If you type in Minivan Lee, they will come up. The Guy in the Orange Tent and Night Owls and Digital Shadows. And, I still have a really good imagination like a child. what can I say? Yeah. So, but you asked me about this, and you said my beautiful van. That went me off on, it is a beautiful van, okay? And you say, Christine, I'm so worried about the fire here in California. Yeah, this was written a few days ago. And now you're predicting power outages. Okay, so let's talk about this. Power outages, and I talk about this so often. If you've been with me a long time, and a lot of you have, I've had my YouTube channel for 5 years now. And I talk about preparing, even if you're in a home. So what I suggest is you get a 2,000 watt, either Jackery or Blue Eddy, or, there's a lot of different ones. Go on Amazon and look for, I would get a 2,000 watt. Now you can go ahead, a lot of people say, well, I would just get a generator. They're noisy and they're smelly because you're using gasoline to keep them going. And if it was in a real emergency situation, you don't want that noise bringing marauders to you, or the bad people to you, looters. You don't want to bring them to you. You want to be a little bit more stealthy. So I suggest you get a 2,000 and you get some solar panels. Get a 200 solar panel. So during the day, you can hook it up and power it without needing electricity. So what I suggest is when you do have power, make sure that it's plugged in, because they send different plugs with you. One's for the AC 110, another one would be for solar, and another one you're going to get a 12 volt. You can plug it into your cigarette lighter, or whatever they call them now, your 12 volt, the little round thing. Yeah. So I have 2 500 watt Jackeries. I do like Jackery. I really do. And they've never sponsored me. Darn it. They should. I probably sold quite a few for them, but I do like Jackeries. And what I do is I have one over here where it's easy while I'm to plug in for my phone, things like that. And then I have one over there I have solar on my roof, and it comes through. I'm not going to show you my setup because I've already done different videos on that. If you type in Minivan Lee and type in solar, Minivan Lee on YouTube, type in Minivan Lee solar, it will come up. If you want, type in Minivan Lee Jackery, it will come up. They have everything, YouTube has it just like that. But type in Minivan Lee first, and then type solar, and all of my solar will come up. And so I keep one over there that is, as I'm driving or I'm in the sun, it will be powering it up. And then when this one runs low, I switch it. Okay. So that's really what I suggest, because a 2,000 will help keep your refrigerator going and all the little things, your phone and things like that. It's going to keep those going. I wouldn't get less. If you're dealing with a home, I wouldn't deal less with 2,000 watts. Okay. So that's how I would do it. But make sure you get a solar panel. Okay. Okay. Next, this is from Mr. Money Helper. Oh, okay. He says, great video. How many miles per year do you drive in your van? I don't really drive at this point. I don't really drive much more than 5,000. I'm quite serious. I really don't. Maybe 6, but I drive the same as any local would. What I do now is I go up north in high elevation in Arizona in the summer, because high elevation means cooler weather. Okay. And then in the winter, I come back down to Tucson, where I lived for 45 years. I have children still here and grandchildren here. And I know Tucson very well. So what I do is I don't drive that much. I drive probably the same as any local person would. I go to the store. I have a night parking spot. And then I go to, in the morning, early morning, I drive to a park or wherever I'm going to be in that morning. I may run around and pick up some supplies. I might go visit like Saguaro National Monument, something like that, right? So I do just the same as any local. So really, whatever you drive, if you live in a house, is probably the same as what I drive. I don't go across the countries anymore. I really don't. This spring, I am going to go to Ohio, but you know what? I'm going to fly. I don't want to put the miles on my van, and I really don't feel like driving. I've already been across the country, 3 times now, back, forth, and I just don't want to drive that much anymore. And I don't want to put all the miles on my home. There you go. What else? else? How long do you think it will last? My van will last probably about 5 more years, this one. But how long do you think I'll last in a van? As long as I can, because I really do love it. Why do I want to pay rent? Why do I want to go rent? I'm not going to buy a house. Renting, you can't control who your neighbors are, and some of them can be dangerous and noisy and just annoying. Why would I want that? Why would I want authority over me? Somebody who can tell me exactly how I can live or what I can do or how much I have to pay. Things like that. No, I don't like that anymore. Been there, done that. Okay. Now, I just wrote a book, 8 Years Living in My Minivan, Van Life Chronicles, and it's good. You go on Amazon. I really get it. It talks about the people and the places I've been, the sad stories I've been through, hilarious, funny stories, camping with friends and things like that. And it does tell why in my experiences, renting and why I love this, because I really just don't want to rent anymore. I really, really don't. It just is not my cup of tea. And I can change my view whenever I want to. How much income do you believe people need to be able to replace a minivan? Okay, how much? Well, I don't know, because that really kind of depends on how much you can save. Okay. My Social Security is only $1,000 a month. So to replace your minivan, I would say have at least 10 grand. Somebody then asked me, I'll show you later, do I have payments or do I pay cash? I pay cash. Okay. I pay cash for my minivan, and I buy used only. And, I think 10,000 would be really good. Now, let's say you don't have 10,000. What are you going to do? You're going to have to buy something older and cheaper until you can save up the money. Now, I have a video out on how to live on $500 a month. I do. It can be done. It's not easy, but it can be done because you need to have your savings. You really do. And so I have a video on that, and I'll leave it at the end. So watch it all the way through. And they will become instantly homeless. Well, they can also, what I've heard people do is they actually rent an older car. They actually rent one. And what they do is maybe drive around and do Uber Eats. And that's how they do it. I mean, it is a survival game. It's a survival game. What I suggest, if you don't have a savings, you need to get yourself on a budget of like $500 a month and go work. Because that's going to help you save money, because you're not going to be out spending money, right? And if you go do fast food or something, there's food there that you could eat. Not my style of food, but hey, it is survival. You're going to end up being in survival, but you can stash everything that you are earning and you can build up. I did that. I mean, I actually did that. I worked at Amazon for a few years here and there. It's easy to, well, it used to be. It was easy to go to a new city. Let's say it was in the summer and I needed to move away from the east. And I found up in Reno. I mean, I worked at Amazon in Reno. I worked for 2 months and I stashed everything I earned. And it kept my spending down because I was too busy working to go spend money, right? So let me take a sip of my coffee. Got a lot to discuss here. So it can be done. It can. Next, this is from Barbara Cole. She says, these are from videos from the past. Not too far in the past, but everyone is not the same. Well, I know. You are happy in your van. That's really great, but it's not for me. I would want to be able to stand up and be able to walk around and go outside in my own backyard. Well, for me, the parks are my backyard. It's a huge backyard. And it varies because I can go to different parks. Now, let's go with what she said. Everyone is not the same. I say this all the time. This lifestyle isn't for everybody. I've said that a billion times, but it's an alternative if you need it. Okay? I'm not saying, everybody get yourself a minivan and get in that minivan and you live it. Okay? It's a sustainable lifestyle and I want you all in a minivan. No. What I'm offering is a different alternative, because a lot of people are forced into this lifestyle. Okay. Now, I could sit in my minivan, because you went on to say you need to stand up and get out. Well, I get out of my minivan quite a bit. You might not see me all the time out. For one reason, filming is horrible outside. I'm just telling you. And it's been cold. It's been so cold out there. So a lot of times I will do my filming in here. I can talk to you easier. And maybe, and then on the outside, I can overlay and show you what I do out there. So I understand that, Barbara. I think I've explained. Yeah. I'm just here to offer something that's outside the box. There are so many women who are forced out of housing because they can't afford it anymore. Women my age, we're all out here. You know, the streets are becoming a nursing home. I'm just telling you. Okay? Next. This is from John Costello. These lawmakers must think living in a car is fun. Some people can't afford housing and they do what they got to do. Yeah. I believe this was on the video about, is it becoming illegal to live in your vans? Well, some cities are actually sanctioning against it. They're making it, it's a city by city, how they set the laws. That's why I like a minivan. It's stealthy. Nobody really knows I'm in here. Some of you say, oh yeah, they do. Well, no, they don't. Okay. Not for sure. They don't know. And a lot of what's happening now is BLM land is kind of shrinking by law. They set this law. Maybe the new administration will go and kind of correct that or change it. But BLM, which is a Bureau of Land Management. Okay, that's what BLM really first stood for. Okay. Bureau of Land Management. And it's land that has not been developed yet. There's no water. There's no bathrooms. There's no electricity. And it is for public use. Well, they set, the last administration set it, a brand new law that it's different. It's almost as if they're selling part of it for use for corporations. So, yeah. So it's not really, totally, I think it's going to get smaller and smaller as we go. And that's why you said these lawmakers must think living in a car is fun. Well, living in a car, I don't know if that would be so much fun, but a minivan or something bigger. A lot of people live in SUVs. I mean, a lot of nomads, famous nomads, started out in SUVs. So, yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, this is from Nikki Page. Do you have a loan or your minivan, Lee, on your minivan, or did you pay cash? I always pay cash. I don't want to, yeah. And then get interest rates. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. This is from Carol. And then there's letters after. Lee, could you do a video on what you eat? I just did that. The last one is on what I eat. I showed you exactly what I eat for now. You know, my eating patterns change, but what I found in life is during different times, I'll spend time eating certain foods, and it'll be limited at choices. Then maybe 4 months later, I switch it up. But what I eat then is kind of like, it's just a small variety. And then later I'll do another small variety of all different stuff. So I did get a lot of pushback on that rotisserie chicken. Don't you know there's hormones in that chicken? And most chickens do have hormones, unless you want to buy from an actual farm directly, and they're very expensive. And I'm not going to drive around trying to find that every day. So yeah, they do. Now I will mention that Whole Foods does sell non-hormone chickens, but they're not organic. I talked to them. Oh, I talked to Walmart. I talked to Kroger. I talked to Whole Foods. I want to talk about the people who make it. And I find out as much as I can about it. Like, when exactly will they be ready? Because I don't want to go there and find they're not ready and then have to go drive around and come back. No, I want to know where each store, what their schedules are. And I talk about their chickens, okay? Now, if I'm going to eat a chicken and I'm going to buy a raw chicken, I guarantee you it's got hormones in it. So anybody buying a chicken and making chicken soup out of it or whatever, right? So, yeah. And I like to know that the chicken is in its form, because I don't want lab meat. I don't trust it anymore. I don't trust her telling the truth. I want to see the bones. I want all of that. So, you know, and I don't eat the chicken every single day. So relax, everybody. Yeah, I think I do pretty good on my eating. One person said, you eat so much processed food. What? There wasn't any processed food in there. Oranges and apples and coconut oil and a chicken. Wow, and cheese. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy talk. Okay, what's next? Oh, and then the physical. And see, I don't know if you know it or not. See, a lot of you who are new don't know. I have a website, minivanlee.com. And on there, I sell my exercise tapes. And what I do is I give you all that I have. I think it's like $11.95. I give you all that I have. Okay? So go there. If you want to see what physical exercise that I do, and I do it outside in a park. Okay? So there you go. Okay, this is from, I don't know if it's a Q or G. Okay, Janine. Hi. I am new to your channel. Great setup. Thank you. Except I did not see a bed. Where do you sleep? I just did a video on that, on my bed. So go down, scroll down, and on my videos, and you'll see on the bed. But what I do as I sleep here, I turn this into a bed. And I have a pad. I have all kinds of, it's so comfy. Oh my gosh. Everything, my pillows and my blankets are under here. And my sleeping pad is here. Now, I sleep on top of my sleeping pad because I don't like to be confined. But it's dual purpose because if it really gets cold, I can crawl in it. Okay? So people say, oh, get yourself a mattress. No, I like this. I like my system. I like my rotisserie chicken. When I want chicken, I want a nice hot meal. I was going to mention also, if you go to a restaurant, you usually don't go and so, does this chicken have hormones in it? No, we eat. Yeah. I can't be perfect with my food or my bed. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. One more. Yes. This is from CD and Buddy. Hi. I've always wondered if you take everything off back plastic drawers when traveling. I got like these drawers here. No, they don't go anywhere. I mean, you're right. If I was going to crash in an accident, God forbid, which I don't plan on, I look for good outcomes. I don't look for stuff like that to happen. But sure, yeah. But it'd be the same if you're in a car too. I mean, if you're just in a car and you got stuff there, things are going to go fine. No, they don't go. I drive so careful. I really do. No, I don't move everything. That would take forever. Oh, I love this one. This is from way back. This is from, well, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. This is from Dana Giggle. Okay. You don't need to show us your seat, Lee, but thanks anyways. That was on How I Go Potty. I was showing my bucket and my pee bottle. Okay, let me just say this. Yes, I do. Look, people want to know how to do this. What if you had to like get in your car and go? And you were kind of in there. A lot of people in the California fires, they still have not been able to get back to their home. Okay, so, and some of them are broke. I mean, they don't have the money to go get a hotel, and they're not being helped much. If you can't, you need a pee bottle if you need to go pee. I mean, how are you going to go outside and do it? No. So no, I do need to show stuff like that because a lot of people need to see how we do it. We're forging out here, and we are the pioneers on this, us nomads out here. And if you go in Quartzsite, there's an RTR. It's called Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. It's called the RTR, and it happens in January in Quartzsite. I mean, if you go to the RTR, they have classes people go to. They're like little classes. And people bring their chairs and they sit outside and there's somebody up there instructing. And they show the equipment you're going to need. So yeah, I do need to show it, okay? Oh, here, one more. Hard Car Life. She says, or he, what make of van are you in? I'm in a Kia Sedona. In what year? 2014. And she said that I've been living in my 2021 Ford EcoSport for the past 16 months. I have not taken out the seats because I can't figure it out. So I'll need to have it professionally done. I just don't have the money either, living on SS, aren't we all? There's no room for anything in this tiny vehicle. I'm 67. See, here's an example. Oh, she's female, single female, and mostly pretty miserable living this way. But it's because you don't have the room, and you didn't have time to prepare. That's what I'm guessing. And that's why I tell people, prepare now, because you never know down the road. And I wish I had more space. I don't travel, but stay in my town. Yeah, West Texas. The summers here kill me. Well, you're going to have to travel to higher elevation, whether it be Colorado or upper Arizona, or you're just going to have to go on the Pacific coast where it's nice and cool most days. Right, you're going to have to do that. Now, how did I take all my seats out? Well, my very first minivan, I took the seats out myself, except the passenger. I had to take it to a mechanic, and he had to have an air drill because the bolts were like so tight, or whatever that's called. So he had to, and it took him a while even to get that the air drill to pull it out, right? But this one, I took it to a mechanic. And I said, how much will it cost to take all these seats out except the captain's chair? $45 to take them all out. And I said, well, will you dispose of them for me? And they said, oh, we'll take them all. So yeah, it was a smaller mechanical shop. Yeah. And they did it. So it can be done. And I will tell you that I talked to another mechanic, because some of them said they had those railings, that move. Yeah. And they said, well, we can't take those out. The mechanic told me that anything can be done. You just have to find the right mechanic, right? Okay. Get my sip. Okay, you guys. Okay. Please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Now, I got the books. Go on Amazon and type in Minivan Lee. Okay, I've got 2, the thrillers. I've got How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Lee Way. And I've got 8 years living in my minivan. Okay, Van Life Chronicles, and it's just it's my journey, my story, my memoir, my van life memoir. It's got all the people. If I've camped with you, you're probably going to be in the book. Okay, yeah, and it's got the places I've been. My experiences, my funny experiences, my sad experiences. Yeah, it's all there. 8 years living in my minivan. So, okay, I better end this. It's getting kind of long, isn't it? Yeah. I love you guys a lot. Okay, I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now. Cheers.